The melody of my soul, the melody of my being, the melody of my mind.
Hi everyone. So at the start of this video, I was just finding it difficult to find like the best title I was going to give this video today, because this is something that is very important and is impacting a lot of migrants in the UK. Okay, so I was torn between deciding, should I call it like the hustle trap for migrants, or should I call it like you don't have to kind of overwork yourself to succeed in the UK, or should I call it like stress management for migrants in the UK? And the reason why I struggled to kind of find the right topic is just that either or, any of those topics would work fine, because this describes what is at the moment impacting a whole lot of us who migrated to the UK in recent times or many years ago. Okay, so now, hello everyone. You are welcome here. Okay, you are welcome to EY Trudy, this channel. If you are a new subscriber here, because I do see that we have new community members just now who had not subscribed to our channel. Oh my God, you're welcome. I hope you feel at home. Okay, and if you are like a returning family member just now who had now been with us for some time, of course, you know the vibes. So grab your cup of tea, get comfy, and you are highly welcome back. Okay, and just get comfy. Let's talk about it. Uh, migrants to migrants. Let's talk about it. Okay. My name is Eya, and I'm your guide to a holistic life mastery. What does that even mean? It simply means that this channel is not just focused on maybe like talking about how you're going to make a financial success and all of that. We also are concerned about how you're going to be securing your peace of mind and your health and your journey to like a whole well-being, okay, while you are also at it. So now, today, this video is a very big one. It is a necessary one, because why I say this is that we are sitting down for a proper deep dive. This is a long one because, what can I say? It's talking about stress management for immigrants in the UK. We are all stressed. Can we even say that? Can we even admit it? That we are all stressed, and we have peculiar stress factors that surrounds migrating to the UK. I'm using the UK because that's where I've got experience. And listen, if you moved from a rainy, maybe a very beautiful sunny country to this rainy little island from anywhere else in the world, you would know that the UK hustle, it hits differently. There is a unique pressure, the pressure that you need to prove yourself, the pressure to send money home, the pressure to understand what on earth is a chicken nandos. What does that mean? And the pressure to fit in, okay? And far too many of us are dealing with this pressure by working ourselves to the ground. So many instances. I'm not here to recall all the things that had happened in our community. But today, the goal is simple. By the end of this section, I want you to realize that you have choices. Overworking until you drop is not the only pathway to becoming a successful migrant in the UK. We are going to have a laugh. We might even cry a little bit. And we are going to look at, the scary statistics as well. And then we are also going to build like a toolkit so that you can thrive here and not just survive. And let's get into it just now. So, the reality check. If you're a migrant in the UK or even back home, you would have heard about people going to work and not coming back. You would have heard about instances of people falling ill. Okay. So now I've tried to read about some of these stories and read some research as well. So before we get into kind of finding solution around this stress, we need to even look at the beast here, which is, why is it such an important topic? Because family, the stress is literally making a lot of us sick here. The stress we are exposed to. I mean, it's something hard to get exactly, because sometimes the researchers, or maybe a group of research, would always like put people together. They would just say the migrant community or the BAME community, or but there is always something very clear in all the studies that I try to research or I try to read. And those things that remain clear is that migrating in itself presents you with certain stress factor. There is a phenomenon, or that researchers call the healthy immigrant effect. So basically what this means is that when you first arrive in the UK, we are often healthier. We are often physically and mentally healthier than the normal people who are already in the UK. We have this optimism, we have this drive that we want to make it. But studies now shows that within spending 5 to 10 years living in the UK, that advantage vanishes. In fact, our health often becomes like worse than the normal general population. And this is as a result of accumulated stress. Stress of adapting to new culture, stress of discrimination, stress of systematic barriers, stress of just living in a limbo. Okay? And a lot of us go on to maybe even develop hypertension. Okay? Let's even look at it just now. Let's talk about high blood pressure a little bit. Now, studies that focus on specific migrant communities in the UK, say particularly Black Africans or maybe Caribbeans or South Asians group, okay, shows like significantly higher rates of hypertension and strokes when compared to other communities. Now, I do understand that genetics can play a role, okay, but some studies also found that there is a huge chunk of link between the environmental stress that migrants are exposed to, and this stress of maybe discrimination, stress of financial insecurity, stress of navigating maybe uncertainty around the visa, and this always being on constant low level anxiety and worry over time begins to impact your cardiovascular system, and over time starts impacting your physical well-being. Now, did you hear that? That the healthy immigrant effect wears off because life here grinds us down. Your body is keeping the score. And the chest pain you're ignoring, that insomnia that you think is just normal, that is your body screaming for help, telling you that I am stressed. So we need to stop normalizing the idea that migrating simply means you're coming here to suffer, to grind, to suffer, and just make it. Migrating or coming to the UK does not equate to being successful. Okay? So I'm going to give you like a little story, or call it an example or an illustration. So let's consider a person called maybe like Andy. Okay? I know that sometimes the statistics can feel a bit dry, so that's why I'm introducing maybe Andy and maybe like Wanne, okay, as real people. And these are people that maybe is yourself or you have interacted with. So Andy has the mindset that when he arrives to the UK, maybe like 4 years ago, Andy feels like, oh, even before coming, Andy is already like a legend back home. He was doing amazing back home. So he packed up his life for some reason best known to Andy and moved here. But because he feels like he's a legend, he still needs to pay school fees for his little sister, carry the shoulder of the whole family back home. He keeps sending money back home. He's probably even building a house for his family back home. And Andy would walk. And this schedule is like he wakes up in the morning and maybe like goes for his night shift that finishes by 6 o'clock, and then have like a 4 hour sleep. And after the 4 hour sleep, he then goes and do maybe like Uber delivery. And in between, he would maybe do like a WhatsApp video call and have like a pot of noodles. And Andy is exhausted. His back hurts him constantly. He has no social life. The only people he knows is his work colleagues. And Andy does not, will never take a day off. And when you ask Andy, why don't you take a time off? Go and do something different. Andy would look at you and say, I've got bills to pay. I've got this to achieve. That's fine. And now let's talk about Wanne. Now meet Wanne, who is constantly worried. Wanne is probably a student that migrated and started doing some manual jobs like maybe Andy is doing as well. But Wanne maybe is even lucky he found a job in the office. But Wanne is always having the migrant imposter syndrome or like a visa anxiety to deal with. And every time Wanne will be like, oh, have I done the right thing? When is my visa expiring? Am I hearing back from home office? That stress is something that she constantly faces every day. And at work, maybe even Wanne never says no to anything, maybe like overtime, because she's maybe terrified that, now that I finished my post-study, I managed to get a kind of skilled worker visa. I don't want to say no to my employee before they cancel my visa. And she then needs to work twice as hard to prove herself, to be allowed to stay in the room. Okay? So she carries the burden on herself, okay, that she needs to work twice as hard because she needs to prove herself. So now this is Andy and Wanne. They are running on something I would call adrenaline and fear. Andy is driven by guilt of those he left behind, and Wanne is driven by the fear of being sent back home. Both of them do believe they have absolutely no choice but to live this way. And that, my friends, is the lie that I am hoping that watching this section today would help you to come off that lie. Because you don't want to walk yourself, or you don't need to walk yourself to stupor. So now, let's come off the lie. Shake it off. That feels so heavy. So, see like Andy and Wanne just now, okay? Oh my God. It is possible to move from that survival mode to a thriving mode. And this requires a massive mindset shift. This is the hardest part of this video because I am asking you to challenge the programming you have in your head before migrating to the UK. And the first thing I'm asking you to do is to redefine what success means to you. Most of us arrive here with the definition that success equates to money, status, and helping everybody back home. But now, holistic success include those things quite all right. But it will also include your physical health, your mental peace of mind, your ability to actually enjoy your life while you are working so hard. If you build a house back home, but you die of stress-induced heart attack at the age of 50 in your one-room apartment in London, would you say you have lived a successful life? To me, that is a tragedy. You need to internalize this. You are worthy of the rest right now. I mean, right now. Not when you get indefinite leave to remain, oh. Not when you buy a house, oh. I mean, right now. Even as you are on your limited visa, you deserve to have fun. Even with your funny accent, you deserve to take a breath from walking yourself to down the hill of your health, always constantly being stressed. Okay. You will say to me, yeah, that's a nice philosophy, but I have bills to pay. How do I actually lower stress in the UK without going broke? I know. So now let's open some strategy or maybe some insights or even something you can call a toolkit. We are going to be breaking down this into like four or more. I'm going to add a last one at the end, which is more like for those back home, family members back home. Okay? So now, this is going to be a bit spicy. And we need to talk about remittances. With all the apps that are out now, the black tax, or whatever your community calls it, the pressure to send money home. The reality is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you work yourself to death, the money will stop coming anyways. Okay? So, an approach to this is to have a budget for what you need to send back home. Put that on your budget and don't go above it. Okay? You need to also meet your needs here in the UK and communicate this to your family. Set it as a boundary. You can make it clear and say something like, I'm going to be able to send you, mom, every month £50 or £100 or £200. But mom, I'm not going to be able to send any emergency fund for maybe our uncle's wedding that is going to be happening in 3 months' time and all of that. So you would find that people will adjust and they will work with whatever you are able to afford to send to them. You are not the savior waiting to kind of carry all the burden. Now, this is my worried windy. Now, to this worried windy, not the worried windy, the worried one, sorry. Now, for her, she would need to learn to say no without feeling guilty. Unfortunately, taking an extra hour from work or doing the weekend prior to your commitments would not save you if there was going to be something that would impact your job. The UK people are a little bit, what I would say, passive aggressive, but they are generally respecting people who has polite firmness. You don't have to explain why you can't work. You can just say no. No is a complete sentence. If you're on a skilled worker visa, your sponsor needs you to do extra hour. You have the power to say something like, maybe you've got prior commitments and you're not going to be able to do that. Don't allow yourself, because of your visa status, to be like a doormat that you'll be pushed to work 70 hours, 60 hours every other week, and you don't have a social life, you don't have anything going for yourself. So now, because when you're always working and have nothing else to do, the immigrant loneliness is also a killer. We stick out our own communities for safety, which is a beautiful thing, but sometimes the bubble reinforces the pressure to hustle. What I mean by this is that if the only people you associate with are people from your migrant community, it would mean that they will keep on selling the hustle mentality to you. You need to find time to associate with people in the community that you've now come to live in. You can start volunteering. You can start maybe every Saturday morning, say around 9 a.m. You can go in the parks around the UK. It is free. You can do like a park run or walk. Nobody cares how fast you are. It's just like a pure community cheer. And about the volunteering as well, what that does is that, say for example, you are volunteering for like a UK charity just now, and it simply would give you the opportunity to connect to the wider community and give you that sense of purpose outside of just maybe even surviving or just interacting with people who are also surviving like yourself. Okay, so you can find like kind of meetup apps as well. Find a group that likes maybe doing hiking or even board games or any activity of your interest, and just do something. I mean, something useless, but let it be something that brings you joy. Now, the other one is you need to start utilizing the NHS for mental well being. They have all the resources. Stop shying away, because sometimes you might want to shy away and say, I don't want to go and diagnose myself for what I don't know. Stop ignoring your mental well being because you think maybe, the NHS is too busy and I don't just want that to be on my record. Okay. Now, your GP is like your gateway to accessing the help you need with regards to your mental well-being. Okay, how do you do it? You can book an appointment with your GP and tell the receptionist that this appointment is going to be for mental health support. They will allocate you a time, and when you go in there, just say to your GP, I'm struggling with anxiety and stress, and it's affecting my sleep, it's affecting my work, and I need help. What happens is that, contrary to what you may be thinking, they won't immediately just lock you up that, this one is going psycho. No. But they might even refer you to maybe social prescribing, like maybe gym referrals or groups. They might even suggest counseling to yourself. And you can even sometimes even refer yourself to counseling sections as well. They can suggest you to some therapy, or even at some point, they can suggest some medication that will boost your mood and your mental well-being. And it's all free because, again, you've already paid the health surcharge. So use the services. It is a sign of strength and not weakness to identify that you are struggling with this, it is impacting you, and that you want to do something about this, okay? To make sure that it does not deteriorate. So I don't know if I've been as clear as possible, but I think so far we have now covered a lot, and we have looked at the statistics that prove that the UK stress is real. We've also met Wanne and we've met Andy and saw, like from that illustration, how the pressure traps work. We have also looked at ways you can set boundaries with your families back home and even your employers here in the UK, because the UK has a good employment law, in case you don't know, that protects your rights, okay? And I just want to make you aware today that you have choices. The narrative that immigrants must suffer to succeed is already like an outdated narrative. It's even dangerous. And we need to reject it by all means. You don't need to suffer to be successful. You can be successful. You can be well rested. You can even send money home. You can also have a savings account for yourself here. You can be grateful to be in the UK and critical of the things that also make your life here hard. So it's time for us to just stop just surviving in this country. It's time to master your holistic life here. It's time to pause and tell yourself certain truths. At the end of the day, you are just a number. No one is special. If anything happened to you just now, the world will move on. I know. I know. If anything happened to you today, the world will move on very fast, very quick. The job that you thought that, without me, the shifts will not be covered. Without me, everyone will be a bit, they are gonna move on. I'm sorry to tell you, they are gonna move on. That is why if you are one who is always constantly under pressure because you are fearing someone will send you back home and not sponsor your visa anymore, you have to start studying the law a little bit more and setting work boundaries. Because in the UK, I think legally you are not allowed to work more than 48 hours, except you then permit it, okay? By law, you're not supposed to work more than 48 hours. And you know that working here is slightly different from the kind of work we do back home. Here, it is per hour because for every hour of work you put in, it is having to be like good hour of work. It's not something like you will just put in careless hour of work. So sometimes the other way to put it is that it will take a turn either on your mental, like your mind, if you're doing like a mind work, or your physical. It's not like you go to work to lazy about or just gist away the whole day and go home. No. So now, the last thing before I summarize this video is to say to people back home, your relatives who are abroad are your loved one and you want to treat them with kindness. Some of you back home are far more better than your relatives' reality here. You are constantly telling them to send you this. You're constantly telling them this. You're constantly making them feel this way. Please, this is a new year. This is a new start. You have to think it through before you place the request, because the migrants communities here in the UK, I don't know for other countries, but I'm using UK as an example because I am also a migrant in the UK. The migrant communities, first generational migrant communities in the UK, are experiencing a massive load of stress that is caused from various factors. But at least Black Tax is one of them. And as a family, you can support them to reduce that. So my darlings, as always, we have not discussed about this. So it is entirely up to yourself now to decide what to do with yourself with regards to managing your stress. You can cut back on your hours. You can form bubbles with the communities. Apart from your own inner caucus of friends, you can start intentionally forming bubbles with the communities around you, just so that you can get to know them better as well, okay? And that's by volunteering and all of that. I know it will be putting in more hour, but those other extra hour, the benefit it will give you is that it will improve your mental well-being, okay? So what I would say is that you need to stay safe, you need to stay warm, stay connected, don't ever isolate yourself, and maybe try your best to look after yourself. Visit your GP if you need to. That being said, thank you for watching this video up until this point. And if you have gotten to this point of this video, maybe just leave us a kind of a love emoji in the comment section just so we know that you watched the video to the end. And thank you for watching it. And if you've learned one or two, as always, you can share with us. And if there is any other suggestion as well on how we can manage stress in the UK, you can also share that with ourselves so that we'll continue to manage our stress, continue to push a life that we thrive, and we are also having that well-being as well. So thank you so much for watching this video today. And please subscribe, like, share, and even comment as well. And I will then maybe see you in our next video. You know how we do it here. I hope you've just finished your cup of tea, and I hope it didn't get cold while watching this video. That has been said, okay? Thank you so much for everything. Take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.